There was another article I want to touch on here related to that. It said moms who went through COVID breakups say solo parenting is much easier. Rolled my eyes, okay? First of all, I want to know who said this and what their finances look like. Did they break up with their partner because during the pandemic, we were all home, right? So you realized, okay, this person drives me crazy 24 hours a day in my face. There were moments like that. Everybody had them. So did they break up with their partner and then they had enough money that they went and hired a nanny that came and basically stands in for their partner doing like all that extra stuff and money wasn't an issue so they didn't need financial help? What's going on there? This is a very dangerous message to send out there. There are women, oftentimes it's women, although there are single dads too. We have to acknowledge that. There are dads that are single out there doing an incredible job. There are people that find themselves in less than ideal circumstances. It happens. There are deaths involved. Horrible, but it happens. There are separations. There's betrayals that happen. There are things that happen that force couples to separate, and you have single parents. Sometimes there's a substance abuse issue, a violence issue. I mean, there's many things that go on that force someone to have to raise a child alone. That's not ideal. That's not to be championed. That's not easy. When you lose a body, when you lose an income, when you lose a pair of arms, when you lose a support system, your life gets harder. Now, maybe these are people that have an extended family and can, great finances, and for whatever reason, they inherited a bunch of money and they got, 2 au pairs in the house. I mean, I don't know what their situation is, but this is not the norm. And I certainly don't want to see a message going out to people like, oh, don't worry. You and your husband didn't get along during the pandemic when you were in each other's faces all day. You can do it alone and be happier. It's way easier. Again, that's a very privileged statement that is really unfair to the reality of what a lot of single parents face. And even though single parents, just, let me say this, they find themselves in a situation that's not ideal. Many of them do an incredible job, do the very, very best they can to raise amazing children. So credit to you all who find yourself in that position. But it's not ideal. And it was hard, and it was a struggle. And resources sometimes maybe were tight for the average person. And that it wasn't always easy to find help, and maybe your mom and dad moved closer to you. Whatever it may have been, stop glorifying this stuff and making it like, oh, this reminds me of you don't need a man. You don't need a man. You can just remember that video the other day? Go to the sperm bank. Just go to the sperm bank. You don't need a man. Right, because kids don't need fathers, because fathers don't play an integral role in a house. That girl's let me tell you, she decides to do that. Oh, I'm just going to have a baby. I'm just going to go to the sperm bank. Unless she's sitting on a wad of cash and, a family that can fill a farm, she better be prepared. Even when, in my house, my kid gets sick, gets a cold, whatever, that is an extremely challenging circumstance if you don't have somebody else in the house. Hey, Jeremy, can you take him for 2 seconds? I want to hey, we go to a doctor's appointment. You're sharing in all those experiences. You also have somebody to bounce off of when you get nervous. Oh, Hartley runs a fever. I'm like, I start to panic. My husband's very measured and very calm in almost any situation. That balance is so important. Don't take away from the hardships. These people who find themselves in these situations struggle and survive and come out on top and raise amazing children oftentimes. Don't demean their struggle by saying, oh, it's easier to just do it yourself. What a privileged, ridiculous thing to say. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.